All right, Man in the Hat here. Yes, we have a new YouTube name, so it's no longer DN Game. We got Man in the Hat. And who do we have here?
Andres Alvarado.
And what deck are you playing?
I'm playing Stein Otk.
Oh, so we're talking about GOAT format. You ain't ready for the GOAT format, so you must be rich.
No, it's the reprint.
All right, so let's see it.
Perfect. So, playing 3 Cybersteins. This card really didn't gain momentum when GOAT was a thing, even though it was reprinted as a rare. It only really gained popularity once Cyber Twin Dragon was in the format. But I'm gonna show you why it's still really good. So 3 of them, 1 Sangan to search it out, 3 Mystic Tomato to go into the Sangan to search out Cyberstein. Then we're playing 3 the Koichi. It's one of the better. You don't have many choices in terms of machines that you can main deck, and he just is an upstart, so he's really good to play. We're playing 3 Nimble Mamangas. It gives you life, which you need to pay for the cost of summoning off Cyberstein. He floats into 2 bodies. Really, really good. I was actually playing Giant Germ for a while, but this card's just much better. Playing 1 Cyber Jar. If he resolves, actually every time he's resolved, I've won the game. This card is insane. And then of course, 1 Jinzo. Traps aren't fun for an OTK deck, and he's a machine, which comes up, especially because you want OTK. I've OTK'd with him as well. In terms of the OTK, we're playing United We Stand, 3 Megamorph, and then why machines are important is because we play 3 limiter removal. United We Stand, any combination of these, Megamorph can OTK by itself with one of the fusions, but you want to have at least 2. Back row, we don't like it. Creature swap. This deck does play scapegoats, so you can, if you have a token face up, you can put it into attack, and you can go just beat over it for the OTK. You can also swap Mystic Tomatoes, Nimbles. It's really good to have. 3 scapegoats. It helps you stall until you get your OTK pieces, and then we also play meta. It's good. You can still control if like they somehow put you under the life point count. You just turn into a really aggro control deck. Token Collector. Token Thanksgiving. This card is actually insane. If you go against Go Control, like the basic Go Control, this card is going to give you 3,200 life points. You can do it on your own. It just gives you a way to still Cyberstein. If you resolve it once on 4 tokens, you can Cyberstein twice. I've Cybersteined I've done this for 6,400 life points. This is crazy. You only play 1 because people like to play Chaos. People like to play like really offbeat Goat decks. So yeah, one is enough in the main deck. And then of course you have like the really power 1-ups. These, they're self-explanatory. You don't play the Trinity. You don't play Delinquent Duo because of the life point loss. So you play this to stall a little more. And then in terms of the traps, since you're Giant Trunating and you're trying to Turbo Jinzo if you can as well, these are the ones that can net you the biggest card advantage if they resolve. So that's why you play these 2. No ring because you don't want to lose life points either. Should be a straight 40. Then of course, the reason why this deck is even a thing in this format is because of Gatling Dragon. He is not as good as Cyber Twin Dragon, but he can get rid of up to 3 bodies. And then of course, he's a limited removal target and meta as well. You can still OTK with also Master of Oz. He's the highest attack fusion that is allowed in this format. We didn't have access to Blue Eyes Ultimate. And then of course, you have Thousand Eyes Restrict. It's why this format is even a thing. And then, of course, you play one of all the other, which, I mean, you can go into them. The only other relevant one that I've ever gone into is Flame Ghost, because I've meta the Sangan to search. And then you get into like the side deck, which is actually really important. Kinetic Soldier, I believe they changed the name to Cypher Soldier, but this card is a machine, the only other like worthwhile machine in this format. And you side him in versus Warrior. He gains attack and defense when he battles a Warrior. If you limit or removal, I've actually like killed somebody swinging into this in defense position with like double limiter. You also smoke screen into a small Monarch package. This is if you go against Beatdown. It helps you gain advantage, one, by their hand, which is how they try to maintain advantage, and two, you use their own bodies against them and you can beat over them, and of course one Mobius as well. Delinquent Duel, it's the same thought is if you go against Beatdown, they try to maintain as many cards in their hand as they can, and you try to play off of that. Versus Chaos. Versus Heavy Goat Control. And you don't want to die to burn.
All right, so thank you for the deck. But one thing that we never see in profiles is really like the side deck patterns. Can you show us the side deck patterns?
Yeah,
especially
sure.
with the smoke screen?
Yeah, for sure. So a big thing was actually the last tournament that I played it. I went undefeated, and it was really good in the sense of, I'll show you. So when you're playing Warrior, you want to put these in. And at that point, you're siding out if you're playing against that. So this would be what you side out versus Warrior. You're trying to side out an engine that's not really good. They want to start just beating over stuff. For something like this, if you are playing versus Burn, of course, side out the 2 traps that you play. And something like this, where they don't really play monsters. If you're playing versus Goat Control, this can really just be anything. This is really that important. Probably Cyber Jar rather. Goat is a 2 of. Chaos, excuse me, it's a 2 of. For that one, I'm usually siding out the 1 token Thanksgiving and like a meta to put those in. And then the big one is if you're playing against somebody that sides in that burn spell, Wave Motion Cannon, you're actually siding out Stein. You're siding out three Metamorphs. And if you're siding out, sorry, this should be here too, which would make it so you side out the 3rd one as well. So it's a pretty even side. There was one opponent that I played against, and he did side the Wave Motion Cannon. I saw it game 2, and then game 3, I sided this in for it. And he asked me afterwards, like, oh, I never saw Cyberstein after like you went below the threshold, and it's because I sided it out, and it helped me win.
All right, thank you for the profile, and hopefully to see you again doing another profile and winning some GOAT tournaments.
For sure.